Hey everybody, I'm Rob Freeman and welcome back to Insuring the Built Environment. This past week I saw a very interesting chart. It was from the World Bank and it showed the trend line of internet user growth mapped against the trend line for crypto user growth over a 10-year period. So for the internet, it showed the period from 1990 to the year 2000, and for crypto it went to 2014 and forecasted out to 2024. And when you look at this chart, what's fascinating is that the two trend lines are basically identical to one another. They're literally mapped right on top of one another. And that got me to thinking, well, as more and more of my clients have some exposure to crypto in some way, maybe they're working in that industry, or maybe just the owners of those businesses have crypto assets or some exposure to them. Recently, they did a study that showed that around 25% of the US citizens have some exposure to cryptocurrency. And when you think about if this trend line holds, if it's correct in its forecast, and you look back and say, well, Bitcoin was created in 2009 and it was essentially worthless at the time, and now around 12 years later, it's around over $60,000 per coin. Well, what are the implications when more and more of our digital assets or our asset exposure in the world, whether it's business or personal, is touching some sort of digital asset? And so this is less of an insurance video and more around personal risk management, talking about just getting educated around the terms involved in cryptocurrencies and digital assets. So today I wanted to talk about private key management and how to understand some basic terminology around managing and protecting your private keys. So the other week I did a video on how to insure an NFT. And the punchline of that video is that it's almost impossible to get traditional insurance to protect something like an NFT because it's an intangible piece of property. It's not something that you can buy and then it fits right into a traditional insurance policy where you could insure it. So if you're spending thousands of dollars or tens of thousands or millions or tens of millions of dollars on an NFT, probably the first thing that comes to mind is, well, how the hell do I insure this thing? So the answer is that it requires taking responsibility and understanding the concept of a cryptocurrency wallet and managing your private and public keys. So in crypto, when you think of a wallet, unlike a traditional wallet where you're going to have something that's going to store your bills and your credit cards and things like that in a physical device, in the world of crypto, a wallet is something that manages your private and public key pair. When you create a wallet, you are going to be creating a public and private key, and the public key is something that you use to receive cryptocurrency from another party, and the private key is something that you don't share with anybody because that's what you use to send your cryptocurrency to another party. And when you're considering the world of wallets, which wallet is best for you and which is the most secure or the most convenient for your own personal preferences, there's a few different terms that you should be aware of. The first is the concept of a software wallet versus a hardware wallet. These are sometimes called hot wallets or cold wallets. A software wallet, aka a hot wallet, is one that uses software that's connected to the internet all the time. And it is convenient to use because you can just log in there on your phone or on your desktop and use the wallet, get access to your cryptocurrency, and send and receive crypto as necessary. With a hardware wallet, it's a physical device that is usually not connected to the internet. So even if it may connect to the internet temporarily, usually it's disconnected, so it can't be hacked remotely by somebody far away, whereas a software wallet can be hacked, which is why it's sometimes considered less secure than a hardware wallet. So the next kind of concept in wallet security is the concept of custodial versus non-custodial wallets. Custodial means a third party has control of your private keys. So if you use a custodial service like Fidelity or Coinbase or River Financial, there's a whole bunch of companies out there that offer professional services around custody of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. That company has control of your private keys and is doing that job for you. And that's considered less secure in some cases than you having custody of your own private keys. So if you have a wallet that is non-custodial, that means you're taking personal possession of your private keys. And that, again, requires a little extra effort on your behalf. Now, it may be considered more or less secure depending on your personal preferences. You may just not want to think about it. You want to use a third-party custodian. But if you are very concerned with being sovereign, you want to control your own destiny and have the most freedom possible, and you feel comfortable with that, then you can use a non-custodial service and manage your private keys on your own. Now, when you think about these four different variables, hot wallets, cold wallets, and non-custodial and custodial, the most convenient option of all of those is going to be a hot wallet with a custodial service like a Coinbase, and that's going to be the most convenient, easiest to use. The least convenient, but perhaps the most secure, is going to be a cold wallet, hardware wallet, that is non-custodial, something that is essentially air-gapped, not connected to the internet, that you have possession of at all times, or is in a safety deposit box somewhere, and is secure, and you only have access to it. Now, there is one other option here that I want to talk about in this video, which is something called a multi-signature wallet, or a multi-sig. And multi-sig is a little bit like the concept of a dual signature check. So in a business situation, maybe you don't want your CFO or the accounting person to be able to write checks with a single signature. You want to have to sign off on that. So you require two signatures on a check before any check can be cashed. A multi-signature wallet is very similar to this in that it requires usually 2 of 3 or 3 of 5 signatures in order to be able to send cryptocurrency from your wallet. And there are custodial and non-custodial multi-signature options out there. So you can get a multi-signature set up where the company that you're working with doesn't actually even have access to your keys. So you have a pretty secure situation there. So that's it in terms of the types of things that you should be thinking about with a wallet decision. We'll link to different options and ways that you can get more information in wallet services and providers and custody services and providers below this video. But that's it. I wanted to just talk about that because I think, when you look at that trend line about how crypto is being adopted, if that keeps going on the way that it may, crypto is going to be as big and as important as the internet is today. So anyway, thanks. I hope this has been useful and helpful, and have a great day.